Hello everybody, welcome in. It's Laura from Tenacious Taurus Twin Flame Tarot, and this is going to be a divine masculine channeled message for the collective. So we got some big energies, right? We just had Pluto transition into Aquarius, and today, finally, after months and months and months, Mars is leaving Gemini. Can we say thank goodness for that? And it's going to enter Cancer. So Mars is entering Cancer today, and it's going to be there until May the 20th. And so while Mars is going through Cancer, I do feel, because it is a cardinal energy, this is asking the masculine collective, I feel, to lead from the heart, is what it feels like. And so a lot of these masculines have avoided a direct approach when it comes to going after their goals or the divine feminine. It's been a very higher telepathic journey as of right now. And so I do feel the masculine's going to be subject to a lot of mood swings while Mars works through Cancer. And so I feel they're going to be a little bit more defensive at this point in time rather than overly aggressive in that Mars and Gemini energy. And so I think a lot of what the masculines do through this transition through Mars is really going to depend on their current mode, their current mood of the moment. And so it's a very intuitive energy, right? And so I feel a lot of the masculines are going to be moved in this transition to take action to bring peace back into their lives, which I feel they are very much lacking right now during, all of these energies. And so this is also the energy of the masculines being asked to go to bat for the one that they truly love. And so it's bringing forward too, because Cancer is that mother energy, right? You think of Cancer, it's related to the moon and the mother, Capricorn, the father. Mars in Cancer is going to be fiercely protective of their loved ones. And so it's kind of a powerful period from now until May 20th for the masculine to put his ego aside, is what it feels like. So he can go to bat for the ones that he loves, and he can push his plans forward finally, right? Because we're not in that retrograde energy anymore. And so there's this deep inner dissatisfaction coming up, especially in the arena of love and romance for the masculine. And so I do feel this is going to be more important to him than other priorities and achievements at this time. It's going to be love, his personal goals, his home life, domestic priorities are coming up during this period, I feel, for the masculine collective. And just two orbs at like 2 minutes after Mars kind of goes into Cancer at like 0 degrees. So 0 point is a critical degree, right? 0 indicates a reset, and it's forming a quincunx with Pluto, like just moments after transitioning into Cancer. And so that is the Cancer quincunx, the Capricorn energy. And so a quincunx energy is a hard aspect. It's similar to a square or an opposition. It's a very uncomfortable aspect, to say the least. And so it is the mother and the father energies, creating some tension. And so it's going to bring a lot of intense energies. It's this intense longing to go after what it is I've not been willing to assert myself for. And so this is going to be a little bit competitive, I feel. This is going to create that 0 point strive to go after what he wants, which I believe is the feminine, and all of this resistance from all of these karmic influences that have reduced his chance of taking action and reduced his chance of having any victory with the feminine. I feel he's getting ready to make some very harsh, rash decisions this weekend. He can't really succeed at anything while he's clinging to all of these karmic influences, creating this resistance. And so it's this rushing ahead, deciding what I want to do. And I feel a lot of the masculines, they've been listening to all of this advice, all of this unwarranted advice. So many people have been going to the masculine with this distorted opinion on how to improve their life, what decision to make, and ultimately the masculine kind of has to choose to draw on his own courage and his spiritual willpower to succeed. So I feel a lot of the masculines might find themselves resorting to a lot of manipulative and controlling deceptive tactics. And if they do, it's only going to cause more destruction and harm in the long run. But there's this impulsiveness, this better lapse in judgment coming up. And I do feel accidents, mistakes, rushed movement. There's also what I wanted to say. I woke up this morning with this intensified sex drive. And so this very intensified sex drive kind of washed over me. And I did feel like that was linked to the masculine. And for myself, I've been celibate for many, many years on the journey. Those of you that are a counterpart, you know that, you just can't go and jump into a relationship with anybody. The energies have to match, right? And so I also feel there's a lot of possibility for threats and intimidation around the masculine. There's even a possibility of some type of like exploitation is what came through in dreams this morning, like the karmic exploiting him, this peer pressure exploiting him, like almost like they've got something on him, creating this intimidation. And I feel there's a lot of dishonesty kind of getting exposed, leading to a lot of betrayal right now. And so what I feel for the masculines this weekend, and I look aside, like I've been out since about 5:30. This is my second reading for today. And so it's like piss and rain out there. It's windy, it's rainy, it's yucky. And so the energy I feel is just a reflection of how the masculine is feeling. I think he's got kicked off course. I think he's been kicked off of that mighty high horse. And I do feel like he can't even stand being in the same room with that karmic energy anymore. And so I do feel the energy is aggressive and assertive this weekend. A lot of fiery situations are coming up. And I feel the masculine's been knocked off course many lifetimes by repeating this karmic cycle in that trauma bond. And so the masculine is really going to have to work up becoming strong and confident and powerful in these energies, because I do feel there's going to be some type of dramatic situation occurring today that likely repeats and occurs in every single lifetime that needs to be addressed. And so I feel the masculine is being knocked way off course. I also feel this energy of this unconscious cache of like almost like a tsunami of memories when it comes to these particularly painful and awful past life experiences that really have, affected the present moment in this lifetime and in all lifetimes. And so I feel this Mars signature of trauma, related trauma to all of our human existence, is coming up. And all of this trauma is growing out of proportion. And the masculine, I feel, is feeling very much disassociated this weekend, especially as Mars transitions out of that 29 degree. Once again, we go from a critical degree, 29 degree. And we've had Mars in Gemini, remember, for about 8 months now. It's been a long journey with Mars in Gemini. It's been long, it's been daunting, and it's been a dualistic journey, right? And so now that all of these memories are coming up, all of these traumatized memories, the masculine, I feel, is feeling very aloof. He doesn't know what situation or what people to kind of trust. And I don't feel he's really got a very clear concept right now of how to move forward, because I think his life just seems like a total mess, a total disarray. And I think things are just so messed up by all of the aggression, all of the violence, all of the abuse that the masculine has been surrounded by. And at the core, there's this deep level of fear going on in the masculine. And so this is why he keeps attracting all of these people that have these emotional malfunctions, is what I want to call it. And so he's attracting all of these people to kind of pile on the fear, pretty much, right? And so the masculine, I think, doesn't know how to deal with anything right now. He's afraid, he's defensive, as all of these lies kind of unravel, is what it feels like, whether from this life or past lives. And so there's like no boundaries. Everything's kind of blurred, and he's got to get rid of a lot of people right now, is what I feel. And so the masculine really is kind of learning right now what true power is and what it isn't with this Plutonian energy coming through. And so I've been getting a lot of downloads, messages, prophetic messages in dream space recently. And so what it does feel like is labor pains, right? And so the feminine does birth the masculine through her transformation journey, right? And I'm going to start sharing more videos on how to align divine feminine. And so we birth our divine masculine, and we go through these contraction and these labor pains. And so 41 was a big number that kept coming up for me, 41. So 41 also breaks down to 5 change. I had my last 0 point of manifestation in my birth chart at 41, actually. So that was really standing out. And so it was 2 years ago around Easter that I had a massive spiral of manifestation. I was shown all kinds of visions, and I was sent on all kinds of spiritual expeditions around my local community. And I alchemized something a couple of years ago. And so something from a couple of years ago coming back around, or something coming into manifestation. And what I want to say to you, Divine Feminine, patience is the greatest virtue for the Divine Feminine, right? And Taurian energy, let me just tell you, we are patient. We are so, so patient. But don't rock the boat, don't rock the bull, right? Or the horns are going to come out unexpectedly. But I feel the wheel, right? The wheel's moving. The wheel's moving is kind of, getting oiled up and ungunked. So a lot of contraction pains, right? And this is where I feel we have this appropriate delegation of responsibility going on within the spiritual community. And so I'm also going to do another video later today. I'm hoping the kids cooperate. I want to talk about the 3 stages of what Pluto's going to bring forward for us over the next 20 years. And I do feel there's a powerful message coming forward for those in the collective who have their Pluto in Libra. If you have your Pluto in Libra, you are on a higher twin flame mission of some form, whether it's a twin flame journey of self, or you do have that exact blueprint twin flame incarnated this lifetime. It's all going to vary, right? We all awaken according to what we agreed to in our soul contract, in our higher soul contract. And so something coming up with the Pluto in Libra collective is a big message that kept coming through for me, because I had my spontaneous Kundalini activation on my twin flame journey back during the double full moon in Libra in 2019, 12/22 on the timer. That might mean something. I was asked to mention that. And so we are now in the double new moon portal of Aries, and right smack dab in the middle is that full moon in Libra. So this is linked to Pluto in Libra generation. Hello, Generation X. Welcome to the scene. I feel massive global awakening when it comes to Generation X. Pluto in Libra generation. We are here to give power back to the people. That is what the Twin Flame Collective came here to do. We came here to transform that Chiron wound in Taurus. It is a higher wound. Taurus energy is linked to the Hierophant. This is a commitment wound. This is a wound linked to structures and institutions. And so we are here to upheave these institutional structures. And that's what Pluto in Libra represents. And so we're in the gateway portal of birthing the divine masculine in between these 2 Aries new moons is what it feels like. And so there's a great capacity of understanding coming forward when it comes to assuming these leadership positions collectively. And so the masculine is learning right now to make the best out of nothing is what it feels like. I feel there's a huge release of finances. I feel there's been a massive decrease in abundance in the masculine's life due to this selfishness that has never been justified or course corrected. And so the masculine was driven by material aspects, and that was it, right? That's what was driving the masculine: materialism and greed. And so that is a very misguided position to be in. We didn't come for the money. We didn't come for the fame. We came to transform the collective through fueling our personal ambitions, right? And so there's a lot of energy moving fast, asking the masculine to come forward and share course correction, right? And so he's going to have to adapt to all of these limitations, just as the feminine had to learn to adapt. 1441, that might mean something to somebody. A lot of mirroring going on. And so eventually, we're going to be in this state of flourishing, right? And so right now we're kind of releasing this the workings in the mind of this survival of the fittest, right? And so there's a lot of energy being expedited, is what it feels like, when it comes to these twin flame relationships. And the focus is now on correction. And so I feel a lot of the masculine has a lot of weak associations, is what I'm going to say, like weak-minded associations. And it has cost him dearly for not shunning those people out of his life. And so no matter how attractive the devil appears, it's a trick, right? The devil will show up as everything that you've ever asked for. But in essence, it's only asking you to hold on to something that's not meant for you, right? And so the masculines held on to these feelings, buried them deep inside, rather than expelling them and adapting on the transformation journey like the feminine. And so in order to step into this authority position, the masculine is going to have to externally, clear these limitations. And so I feel there's this energy of persistent dissatisfaction in the masculine's life. I feel nothing is developing. He's feeling very much unsupported. And he's initiating into all of these negative feelings. And so it's like the energy of like contagion, right? And so it's like the domino effect, and once one falls, it's and they all go down, right? Like a house of cards. And so I do feel the law of attraction is working out for the feminine beautifully, and I do feel this inevitable massive state of transcendence coming forward, and this will benefit everyone in the collective. And so transcendence, right? And so the father energy kept coming through for me, because Pluto and Capricorn was all about the father. And so a lot of these masculines, I feel, will benefit from this transformation. A lot of these masculines are fathers with children. And it's really hard to have that deep emotional connection when we have all of these secret or repressed feelings. And so there's this energy of deprivation coming up. There's this secret fear coming up with these repressed feelings. And so I feel a gateway of initiation. There's this unique shift kind of going on right now. And so I feel the masculine is like this hungry wolf, and he wants to experience true intimacy, true emotion. And in order to embrace the transformation, it truly does begin with that desire to have that intimate emotional connection when we interact with others. And if you are not connected to your emotional body and your feelings, then you can't have that deep emotional experience with anybody, right? And so this initiation process is building all of this pressure at the root of the spine, where the coiled snake energy is, and it's building, building, building. And it's going to manifest like rapidly, right? So what I do feel is right now things are a little bit vague and foggy, but the masculine's deep in this sexual fantasy for you. And that's why I felt that sexual drive this morning. Like the masculine is like sexually fantasizing about you. He's restless because he knows he needs to express something to you about that. And so all of this is building towards fulfilling our destiny and our desires. And I feel there's going to be some type of victorious experience through that Libra full moon as the masculine goes through this huge release and initiation right now. And so all of these limitations are his. He created them. They're not yours. They're his. And so we need to remember we enter into many soulmate experiences along this twin flame journey, and this allows us to understand our human strategy, our human authority, our mission, our promise for our awaited destiny and stuff like this. And so, and we have to go into many different soulmate experiences in order to understand the feelings that are kind of buried deep inside. And so when we can let go of any expectations, I feel that's when we can truly encounter one another freely. And so the masculine, I feel, is very pessimistic about the future for sure at the moment. He knows he wants to go after a reconciliation, but he doesn't really know how he wants to bring that forward because of all of these karmic influences. And so what I do feel too is like we're closing out a major like 10-year cycle. So 31 is the opposite of 13. So 13, 31, 14, 41, all of these mirroring energies are coming up. And so there's a lot of friction. There's a lot of tension. The masculine has been so passive. And so there's a lot of karmic transference going on right now in order to get the masculine to step into his natural leadership expression as a true divine masculine emperor. And so the energy of Mot. And so this goes all the way back to ancient Egyptian, Greek timelines. The Mot. Mot matters, right? And so the energy of Mot is the energy of having your heart weighed on a scale before you crossed over, if we go to like ancient Egypt. And so your heart would be weighed on a scale. And if your heart was not as light as a feather, guess what? Boom, you get to go back and you get to learn that lesson again, and you get to live another lifetime and figure that out, right? So we're here to heal the collective heaviness on the heart, and we can't do that existing in a vacuum, right? We have to express that outwardly. And so something is being manifested for sure. I feel we're absorbing a lot of light codes at the moment. And as all of this light comes in, the darkness comes to the surface. And this is the promise of manifestation. So, you know, I do feel with the sun in Aries, nothing is holding the masculine back from allowing this influx of light to come in at this point in time. And it's really highlighting his arrogancy and how entitled he has behaved within these connections lifetime after lifetime. And so, you know, he's tried to reason with his arrogancy, and now all of these nervous tensions are you know, getting him to jump the gun. I think he's misfiring. You know, he's coming to terms with the fact that he misfired when he jumped the gun with the feminine, and it's cost him like this leadership position at this point in time. And so life is really not about quantity. It's not about more, give me more. It's about quality, right? And so I feel the feminine's ability to assess and choose to keep only proper influences in and around her has enhanced her capacity to lead. And to lead through proper association and influences. And so the masculine really ran away with his enthusiasm, thinking he could avoid the path that led to humiliation. And let me just tell you, now he has to accept that the risk that he took is now leading to a path of humiliation. And so it's up to him to set that intention to successfully come forward or not. And so I do feel some type of public nurturing, public acknowledgement coming forward for the feminine. This could be an external recognition. This could be an inheritance, a windfall, a lottery win. And so all of this yummy, yummy energy coming into the feminine is really highlighting the masculine's aggrandizement of his ego, his perceived ego, right? He thought he was way up there in his attempted manipulation tactics. Are now, I feel, being projected right back onto him by all of these external negative forces. And so the masculine self-righteousness has now come into this self-fulfilling prophecy, and the energy is demanding that the masculine take back control is kind of what it feels like, right? So there's this lack of drive, this lack of taking action, because I feel there's no guaranteed success if he does, right? But we can't stay stuck. We can't stay stuck in this state of isolation. We have to develop beyond and reach that state of completion, no matter how extremely difficult all of these external Plutonian influences are that are demanding the masculine embrace his energy for leading and taking action. So, you know, he's been in this superficial connection. He's been a hypocrite. He's tried to justify how poorly he treated the divine feminine. And this hypocrisy, I feel, is leading to his detriment, is kind of what it feels like. And so action is what's required. The masculine's actions never did match his words with the feminine, and therefore a guaranteed success is really not on the table, is what it feels like. Because true masculine leadership is about actions matching words. Expression and action must be one and the same. Or guess what? An awakened woman ain't even going to give you the time of day. And so, what does it mean to be an alpha male? What does it mean to be an alpha male? What does it mean to be an influential alpha male? Because we're here for the good, not for the bad. And so there's this newfound vision, I feel. We're here reinventing the hierarchy, the patriarchy, and we are here to bring these new positive Aquarian themed visions into the collective for this new direction. And we are here as twin flames to show others how to achieve this new state of being. We're not here to do it for them. So the feminine has been this guiding lighthouse for the masculine. We can't do the work for him. We had to do our own work. On top of that, transmute the heaviness in his heart that he denied and repressed all of these years. And so I do feel the energy is saying it is time to move into a position of power. We are the people that restore the power to the people, right? The twin flame collective. And so overall right now, the collective is in a huge purge. And how this is going to manifest in your own journey is really going to be it's going to be individual to each twin flame path. And so the twins came here to ensure humanity's future. We're here to release these distorted perversions within the collective. We are here to lead. When we really step into our purest energy, can you look in the mirror and you can say, hey, I lead. What is a true leader? A true leader leads through truth and integrity. And we're backed by this spiritual energy, right? And so the twins are here to act in integrity. And our voice, what we bring forward, our voice, what we say, must match our actions. They have to kind of align. And so in order to bring these positive influences forward for this new vision for society, the masculine has to transfer, right? He's got to release the karmic and transfer into the karmic energy that's moving him into, I feel like, a public realm of mission or something. So the masculine really is taking into account everything at the moment, right? Like the whole of his life experience and what it means to truly be an influencer for others, for the betterment, right? And so in order to effectively bring this vision forward for the new, the masculine is going to have to kind of address these spiritual tests when it comes to these patterns that he's being asked to release. And so this, this pondering energy, do I close out the cycle? Do I not? And so 28 was another number that came through for me. 28 breaks down to a 10, completion, right? So a lot of the divine masculines are these game players. They're players, right? And they need their ego fed by multiple women, multiple sources, and we're transitioning out of that, right? To have true power and influence is to know that that's not right? We're here to add value, not struggle to the collective. And so there's a lot of unexpected upheavals for sure as Pluto works its way through Aquarius, for sure, all the way through the summer. And then when Pluto goes retrograde, it's going to go back into Capricorn, and that's going to go direct, right? And so we've got a lot of energies we're working with over the coming couple of years is what I feel like. And we're in this preparation stage to apply this energy properly and ground it. And so the masculine shook hands with the devil. He made a contract with the devil. He agreed to participate in this very distasteful alliance, this very unsavory, distasteful alliance that belittled the feminine, that slandered the feminine, trash talked the feminine, made fun of the feminine, and led the masculine astray based on these lies, these false details. And so I do feel this unsavory behavior within that entire social group that really was like a game for them. It was like a game, and a lot of the karmics enjoy watching people struggle and find that funny. And let's just say it's never It's never okay to laugh at another person's struggles. And so the masculine took a risk, and he's not getting that reward because he shook hands with the devil or the karmic or the Jezebel narcissistic female entity. And so this game that turned on the masculine at first, because he had all these women chasing after him, is now turned into this struggle. And so this need to win in that alliance at all cost has really created this overwhelming anxiety, because the masculine has severely endangered his spiritual purpose and sacrificed his higher principles for that distasteful alliance. And so that is why there is no guarantee of victory with the feminine at this point, because I feel the feminine is at a place of surrender and zeroing out the karma. And I feel the feminines are going to be free to go wherever they want. Twin flame reunion or soulmate connection, you are free to go wherever you want when we're on the other side of this shift. And so it's risky, right? I feel the feminine's fully rooted in this brand new adventure. She's got that 3 under her belt. She's birthed that cycle for herself, right? And so, and now I feel with all of this Jupiter expansion going on, and it's of the self, right? We will have Jupiter going into Taurus later this year, and that's when I feel some grounded movement will likely be taken. So this holding on to the struggle, holding on to this perverse struggle, because the masculine fears failure so bad, is only going to ensure the failure, right? When we hold on to something irrational, to something that is not working out for us, that is when we face more struggle, and Jupiter is here to expand us. And so the masculine can't keep a grip on anything right now is kind of what it's feeling like in the energies. And so I do feel he is being exploited. I do feel, you know, they used their intelligence, and a lot of these masculines are very highly intelligent and spiritually gifted. They withheld everything for this self-interest of theirs to feed a lie over and over and over again. And so let's just face it, I feel treachery all around the masculine. The abuse of trust has led to treachery, and the universe is coming in and stirring that cosmic shit pot in order for this exposure of manipulation within the collective. And this is going to be individual with your journey, and this is coming out collectively as well. This all has to be exalted, exhumed, unearthed, all of this manipulation within the collective, right? We can't keep pitting one another against each other, and that's what the government does. They pit us against each other. They dumb us down and mind control us through the media outlets, the TV. So I know for me, I don't TV anymore. And so this manipulation of the collective that we've been sitting in with Pluto and Capricorn has been this pitting each other against each other. There's no direct support from anybody, and we're here to change that. We're done playing games. Why do you want to provoke people? Why do you want to provoke struggle? That's not what we came here for. And so right now we have to break apart all of these negative alliances is what's happening, and we have to build these new trusted forces if we are to align with these powerful forces that are intended to destabilize the world as a whole, to bring in these new earth energies. And so we're all facing times of struggle right now. I see it everywhere, scrolling Facebook, going out. Everybody is so snippy, and I'm like, why can't you just smile? I'm like, I always go out and try and sprinkle my little love all over the town when I run my errands. But I look in the collective and I see it. Everything is kind of deconstructing, destabilizing. All of these struggling alliances must be broken down, is what it feels like. And so, but you know, after the fall comes that rise, like in that blaze of glory, right? And so this is where we're at. We're on the precipice of the divine masculine reaching mastery at any cost and rising in a blaze of glory like the phoenix, right? And so all of these sacrifices have led to like this decapitation energy, like off with his head. I think he's losing his mind. And he's in this cosmic law of deterioration right now, and the old must deteriorate and die away so we can finally regenerate and renew, no matter what the cost, no matter what the price. And so this self-destructive behavior and this deep intuitive fear of facing defeat is bringing forward like this profound hopelessness surrounding the masculine. And this is what is needed for this deep intuitive drive to transform and renew and win the feminine back no matter what the cost, right? And so these deepest, darkest fears, right? I feel the masculine fears that he fears death. A lot of these masculines do fear death. They fear that they're never going to understand what life is worth living for. They're really searching for a deeper meaning right now. The energy surrounding the masculine has been stubbornly focused, right? Right now, I feel on listening, like the High Priestess card. What deck is it? And I'm not going to grab it, but listening with all of this awareness to intuit what risk to take. I do feel that the masculine looks at the feminine and he wants to feel more alive like she does too, right? And so all of these struggles are leading the masculine to the 0 point of pure existence in the energies, right? That 0 point. And so I do feel a lot of the karmics drain the masculine, their energy vampires through their spleen. And I feel this is coming into his awareness, alerting him of the danger. And so let's just face it, the masculine played games with life and death. And I know my masculine did have a near-death experience when he realized what it is that he lost from me, whether he admits it or not. I broke that man's heart so bad, he had a heart attack and crossed over. And thankfully, he was revived. He's not dead. Well, that I know of. I don't know. But he did. I broke his heart so bad, he had a heart attack and briefly died. Okay? But he'll never admit that, right? But that's the fact of the matter, because I had to transmute the pain on his heart he was unwilling to feel. And I had a near-death experience and ascended to the 13th dimension because of my broken heart. And so all of these games he played with have led to this life and death situation, right? And so he's got to get out of his comfort zone. He's got to confront his fears of death at this point in time. I know for my personal journey, I think he's afraid to face me. I think he's afraid of rejection. And I think he's afraid that if I reject him again, he will die. Well, let me tell you, I've been waiting for you to die since the day I was born, buddy, to go through this transformation. So get it together. That's what I want to say. But anyway, we need to redirect the entire masculine collective out of this self-absorbed nature, is what I want to say. And so the universe is prodding and poking the divine masculine right now to bring this intuitive knowing to the forefront, right? To let them know what they need to do to grow, to evolve, to understand all of this in their higher awareness and what it is they need to be investing their energy in. And so I think a lot of the masculines are reassessing their health at this time. Virgo energy is coming up, their health. This unnecessary pressure to fight. I feel this fight or flight, this victim mentality. They've likely fallen victim to some type of lying, stealing, or cheating in that karmic contract. And so this is all because of the resistance, right? And so I think they're definitely learning to care for themselves, to nourish themselves. It's the energy of the great and full cup on here. This energy has been coming out a lot in the personal readings this week. I can't believe the great and full cup. And so I believe it was Aquarius. It was Aquarius. I channeled it. And what I heard was the body of Christ. And so that Holy Grail cup, oh, look at that. And underneath that, and I'm not going to use these cards today, but we get the feeling the world in this willing release. So huge heart chakra release going on for the masculine when it comes to his selfishness. But right now, his selfishness is rooting and caring for himself first, which I don't really look at as selfish, right? And so we do have to have a healthy sense of ego drive. And that's the first law we got to master, right? And that's the law of caring for ourselves, which should never, ever be at the expense of others. But we have to embrace our power to care for ourselves first, or we can never care for another properly, right? And so all of this envy towards the feminine has led to, I feel, a lot of misfortune, and the selfishness that manifested through this envy is giving way right now, right? And so the obvious law is being illuminated, that to give you must have too. And so, you know, my mother always used to say that. My grandmother always used to say that you can't get blood from a stone. You can't get something from somebody if they don't have it to give you. And so the masculine really didn't have anything to give the feminine because he was so selfish and closed off in the heart. You have to give. He didn't have self-love to give any love. So this great cosmic mother, right? That's how the feminine is. The feminine is the mother, this great nourisher, this strength, this nurturer. The feminine has true benevolent power to care and love unconditionally. And the masculine is kind of in this energy of this depleted child right now, weak, wanting to have some sap out of your roots and tree, divine feminine. And so all of this greed, this obsession to have more than we need, this greedy obsession, has created a psychological breakdown, is what I'm feeling. That's what's manifested in the energies. So it's like, I want to say, so the journey, right? It's like the masculine's like in this psychological pool. Maybe he's completely obsessed with you right now is kind of what I'm feeling. All of these hidden memories are coming up. The masculine wants to be like this secret hero, this secret policeman for you or something of the sort. I don't know. That's kind of what came through. So he's thinking about you sexually, mentally, and materially. And so this mundane life that he's created, he's being asked to redeem himself, to step into his true value, to release the greed and the lust that eventually, inevitably, will always cripple us. Anybody that has any type of addiction to greed, lust, materialism, anything, right? So this lust for power or to have more than one needs in life is really going to be the biggest fall for the masculine, and because it really is about generosity. And so I do feel there's a possibility for an unexpected caring love offer as Mars works through Cancer. I feel that's more likely when Mercury leaves Aries and enters into Taurus. So right now with Mercury and Aries, it's like everybody's just blasting everybody out of the water. It's very aggressive, hot-headed communication in order to cut those cords. And then when Mercury goes into Taurus, that's grounded, physical communication, tangible, right? So I think around then, as Mars is in Cancer, and I do know Gemini is going to be going, or Venus is going to be going into Gemini soon, and so I'm going to be in my element there. I'm a Venus in Gemini, and so the natural giving and receiving, right? Unexpected love offers. So whether this is a gift or just a principled cards on the table confession of transparency, it's all going to depend on what kind of resources and power and strength the masculine has to come forward. So I just feel like this wariness, discernment is going to be key. I know we're all getting really weary, right? It's been a long journey facing all of these limitations, and I do feel, so the energy right now is really focused on caring for ourselves. I think the masculine is really focused on caring for the weak, the sick, the young. Children are a big part of our mission as twin flames. And so I do feel like the masculine looks at the feminine as this exemplified Mother Teresa energy. And the polarity between the twins, I feel, now is the time for it to be nourished after the masculine is done nurturing himself. And so the masculine must learn to first care for himself in order to really master being able to care for another. And so there's definitely a lot being presented for the masculine right now to kind of work through. I know my Peanut's still sleeping in bed, so as long as she don't bother me, we'll keep going. We're going to grab some Earth Magic cards. We'll start with the Earth Magic. I haven't used this deck in such a long time. So we had the winter solstice, back fall, and I do feel many of the masculines have been in a period of dark night of the soul reflection since last winter solstice in order to tap into their shamanism, right? Ancient healing wisdom. And look at that. And there's that wolf. Hungry like the wolf. I love it. And I do feel by that new moon, that second new moon in Aries, there will be a promise of a coming together. There will be a promise, an emergence. So right now we're in the depths of the activation, or the masculine is, I should say, and we're in the depths of holding that space. So yeah. So everything's been unveiled, slowly becoming unveiled during that winter. And so we had the spring equinox, the spring solstice, or whatever you call it. And now that second new moon in Aries is going to be that new beginning is what I'm feeling. So let's see what needs to come through with the Earth Magic cards today. Ceremony. I love it. Grounding. There's those deep roots, the tree. I don't know why I just heard Taurus. I heard Taurus. Okay. We get the Gaia energy, nurturing. So Mother Earth, grounding, nurturing, as all of the veils of illusion kind of get lifted. So that's the feminine too, the nurturing energy of the feminine Mother Earth. And then we get the invocation ceremony with the mountain, and that's that challenge, right? These are these challenging times. So let's read the invocation, because that is feeling like alchemical union energy, a ceremony of some sort. So sacred ceremony. So this is, I do feel this is where the masculine is experiencing that communion with Source and the communion with the divine feminine and Source at once, where all of these perceived dualities of heaven and earth are merging into one divine experience. And so a lot of sacredness. I think the masculine is becoming imbued with spiritual significance. There's some type of catalytic energy around him that is preparing him for this sacred soul merge with the feminine. And so I do feel, whether it's through indifference, depression, life crisis, or any other manifestation of mental, emotional, or physical blockages, the masculine has drifted so far away from intimacy with spirit that he deeply is yearning for. So right now it's important that the masculine regains his strength and spiritual power. That is kind of contained in and around him right now. So I do feel the masculine is being taken to the altar with all of the elements, and he is breathing this spiritual presence into his life. And I do feel a lot of childhood wounding is coming up in the energies as well this weekend. So we're gonna want to get grounded as the masculine goes through this whirlwind activation. Feminine, you might want to focus on some crystal healing at this time. I know that was my intention this weekend, to go through and go through my inventory and update my inventory list with all of my crystal products before the spring expo. Ayahuasca, you know, that spiritual root drug or whatever. So this is like a spiritual divine invitation. And so it is a lot of spiritual disillusionment is what it feels like. And then we get the dwarf Korean lilac. I trust in the divine blueprint. So blueprint activation. I'm using the Senses of the Soul deck now. We'll pull in with a couple of these. And then I was asked to pull the Archangel Power Tarot cards to do the tarot for the masculine today. So we'll get a few of these. I just love this deck. This deck was gifted to me, oh gosh, way back now. I think it was like the fall of 2009. Oh, the Shaman. And so that's linked to the root. And that is just a confirmation of the coiled snake. Look at the Shaman card. And so we get the dualistic split, right? There's the masculine grounded center and the dualistic split. Very interesting. Any other messages that need to come through for the divine masculine today? I don't think there's that. I think that's it out of all the cards. And look at where I stopped. 46 breaking down to a 10. The Reishi card, I bridge my head and my heart, and I connect with my inner truth. And that is linked to the shamanism. And then we get the heart, the head, and the heart. I am loving wisdom. Holy smokes. And so the black spruce, don't bring me down, Bruce. Anyway, I'm a big fan of music. We get the black Bruce, or spruce, spruce, Bruce. Oh my God, I'm kind of silly today. Allow the light in and recognize that we are all one. And then look at, and there's that spiritual warrior, right? And it is only through our painful life experiences that we can reach a place of acceptance and service. And so feel the fear and do it anyway, divine masculine. Feel the fear and do it anyway, divine masculine. There's that blueprint activation. So I feel this is kind of like the feminine coming through, that guiding light, solar plexus. in a service-based mission. It's a 3, which is like Empress energy. You're the masculine sunflower, right, is what I want to say. And so it's time to shift out of stagnation and let these energies flow between the counterparts is what it feels like. So let's do the shaman card first. I do want to read into this book. These are some very potent messages coming through. I love it. So individualization is what it says, and that is what that Aquarian energy. So we are entering a time of karmic freedom as the masculine bridges the head and the heart and embraces this inner truth. A lot of grounded spirituality coming forward into the summer, and shadow healing, soul retrieval, spiritual death, and rebirth is what is taking place. And so the shadow manifestation is what I feel is coming up, where the masculine has been a saboteur of the shaman energy, right? And this refusal to go into the shadow aspects have really formed this unconscious self-sabotaging pattern, or maybe it's conscious. But he has rejected the part of himself, the divine feminine, that will allow him to embrace self-empowerment. He's allowed all of these karmic influences to kind of hinder him. And so I do feel all of these hidden aspects are being brought to light, and a new person will emerge. So it is linked to the first chakra, like I talked about. And so there's this sacred, reverent ceremony going on in the name of healing right now. Communion with nature, communion with God's source, communion with the feminine as he moves through all of these illusions of darkness to reach a place of acceptance. And he's being asked to feel that fear and do it anyway. So I do want to read the I Am Loving Wisdom. It is 28, and that number come through in my channeling. And when we get to the 28, the next card after that is 29, the karmic closing, right? The karmic closing. So following one's heart. Unconditional love, empathy, kindness, and a new consciousness is being birthed. It feels really, really yummy. So the message with this card is that love is a high vibrating energy, and we all have the power to conquer any lower negative emotions. Life is a process. It is a journey. We never stop learning. We never stop growing. But one thing we need to do is follow the needings of our heart. So 1 minute, Pookie. Yeah, when I'm done, I will. So I do feel he is being asked to anchor his actions in loving wisdom, and to open his heart to communicate with the feminine, to understand the bigger why as to why this relationship had to be so tumultuous and challenging. So I feel the masculine's like making a list, figuring out how to perhaps come in and spend some time with you, is what it feels like. So let's get a few tarot messages. I got Savannah in the background having a meltdown because she wants me to order her a Hello Kitty stuffy. Apparently it's a must need right now. Hello Kitty stuffy. Anyway. But let's see what needs to come through with this deck. I've not used this deck in a long time. Oh my God, 2 freaking major arcanas right off the bat. The Star and the Decision. So this is the Devil, this is Capricorn energy, and this is Aquarian energy. So we're going from Capricorn to Aquarius, right? We're releasing ourselves from these addictive patterns. We're releasing ourselves from what needs to go, what's been holding you back. There's a major detox right now that is necessary to be released, because the masculine, I feel, is lacking some self-confidence. And so the second we make that decision to leave the Capricorn devil energy behind and step into that Aquarian timeline, we're stepping right into dreams coming true, healing. The Star. So the masculine's going to have to believe in himself if he wants to end this difficult situation that he's in. So we're going to get, I'm going to do it a little bit differently. So there are 3 stages to this Pluto energy. So the first stage is, awakening, disempowerment. The second stage is awareness, and the third stage is like uprooting that transformation. So we're going to see what needs to come through for the masculine at the first stage, in the disempowerment stage, where the masculine's at when it comes to stage 1. Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus. Jesus, take the wheel. Jesus, take the wheel. We get the Page of Cups. with the King of Pentacles in reverse. So the Page of Cups is gentle, loving, dreamy, open-hearted. This is a new emotional situation. This is the masculine contemplating, sending a message regarding this relationship. But disempowerment is loss of money. His plan's not working out at all. He could lose his career. He could be losing all kinds of financial successes and resources in order for him to make that courageous choice on the bottom of the deck with the 8 of Swords or the 8 of Michael. So he can be free, but he has to make a courageous choice to change his directions. And so he's not really seeing things clearly. So the disempowerment stage, the first stage the masculine's in, is in this death energy, releasing the past in order to step into this more enriching future. So this is where he lets go and he lets God in. So stage 2 is the awareness. I do like what's coming out today is the awareness. So I get the 5 of Michael or the 5 of Swords. I also got the 10 of Cups in reverse with the 7 of Raphael or the 7 of Cups. And we got the Queen of Cups. And we got the Temperance reverse. So there's that disillusionment, the awareness stage. And in order to have that awareness, we have to be disillusioned. We have to come out of the confusion. And so the 5 of Michaels, that's where the masculine's been at in this state of manipulative behavior. And so the awareness stage is the conscious release of the burden. And so the angels are kind of helping the masculine to figure out what needs to be released when it comes to manipulation, confusion, imbalances, addictions even. When the Temperance card comes out in reverse, that could indicate addictions. So breaking free before things get worse. And so he's right up in that Cancer energy right now. Mars in Cancer is bringing forward this kind understanding to understand the attachments that have not served him and what needs to be released. So to be clear on what he wants, he must take action. Major detoxification process here, and success will come after learning forgiving, right? How to learn to forgive. And so major release. I'm almost done, honey. I've got one more stage left, okay? And so he's right in that nurturing energy of the feminine, following his heart. Towards his true home and family. And so he's receiving all kinds of trustworthy psychic downloads at the time. Oh, bottom of the deck, we got the 10 of Pentacles and Justice. So I do feel we're building those new legacies for the future. So we're going to see how it comes through in stage 3. I'm not sure, honey, but I will call her when I'm done working, okay? No, don't start. You promised. I said I would be about an hour, and I'm rounding up the hours. So, sorry, guys. Just my dialogue with my child. So, the final stage of the transformation journey is the ability to rebalance, right? To course correct. We get the Knight of Cups or the Knight of Raphael, the 6 of Pentacles or the 6 of Ariel, and then we get the 10 of Michael. And so there is no forward movement until we addressed that past painful situation that ended, so we can both finally be free for this new opportunity for happiness that is now being presented to us. So there's going to have to be a final conversation to put the past to bed when it comes to the imbalances. And so the 6 of Pentacles can indicate an unexpected act of kindness from the masculine. It is about equal giving and receiving. It's about having a grateful heart. And so the third stage of this transformation is a romantic, dramatic shift when it comes to these committed romantic relationships. And I feel the final stage is the masculine finding his strength to come out of that state of prolonged grieving, to come out of, you know, disillusionment and understanding that everything happens for a reason. So the final stage is releasing regret and embracing this opportunity for happiness and understanding the silver lining. And so I do feel the final stage is the masculine coming in to sweep you off your feet and to stand up for what it is that he believes in. And that's kind of what I got for the channeled message today, guys. I hope it helped. I hope it resonated. I know it was a doozy. It was a long one. If you would like to book a twin flame or personal reading with me, check it out with my specials on right now. It's the perfect time. You can send me an email. We'll get that booked in. And I look forward to seeing you all again next time, everybody. Have a great weekend. Love you all so much.